Okay, so good afternoon. So let's have now our next topic, which is about Polya's four steps in problem solving. So this is similar to the scientific method that we have in science, but we're going to do it in the aspect of mathematics. Okay, so problem solving is an artistic science. So that is why if you are a good problem solver, you can consider yourself as an artist. There is no single approach in problem solving that works all the time. So each problem is slightly different. So kahit na dun sa mga personal encounters natin sa buhay natin, kahit na we encountered same problem, since magkaibang tao tayo, so we will come up with different solution. And at the same time, yung kahit na yung halimbawa, nangyari na sa'yo yung problem na yun before, then nangyari ulit at present, ang mangyayari do'n magkakaroon ka pa rin ng different attack. Even though magiging familiar ka na do'n, makakaisip ka na ng other solution since nangyari na nga sa'yo. Okay? So it was George Polya, way back 1187 to 1985. He is known as the father of modern problem solving, who did extensive studies and wrote papers and books about problem solving. So he formulated the four-step approach to problem solving, wherein he aims to make individuals as better problem solvers. So sabi ko nga kanina, kung ang science ay merong scientific method, ang math meron naman tayong uh, Polya's steps in problem solving. Okay, but if if uh, we're going to think of it, almost similar din naman sila nung scientific method na ginagamit natin sa science. Okay, so let me introduce who is George Polya. So eto siya sa picture, ayan siya nung kabataan niya, then eto yung medyo may edad na siya. So George Polya was a Hungarian mathematician. He was a professor of mathematics from 1914 to 1940. So hindi naman itong idea ni Polya, hindi ito kasing tanda ng mga idea nila Einstein, nila Newton, kasi if you're going to see yung yung year ng kanyang discovery is medyo ano na siya, medyo early 40s na. Okay? So he made fundamental contributions to combinatorics, number theory, numerical analysis, and probability theory. So, marami siyang contribution in terms of probability, concept sa probability na ginagamit natin as of today. So, he remained a professor emeritus at Stanford for the rest of his career, working on a range of mathematical topics, including series, number theory, mathematical analysis, geometry, algebra, combinatorics, and probability. So, yun nga yung na-mention natin sa taas. So, as you can see, isa siyang Professor Emeritus. Pag nabigyan ka ng title na ganyan, ibig sabihin, ah, magaling na magaling ka. Okay? So, isa siya dun sa nabigyan ng title na yan. Okay? So, he died in Palo Alto, California, United States. So ito na, ano ba yung four steps na sinasabi ni Polya about dun sa na-formulate niyang idea? So the first step is preparation, so understanding the problem. So in preparation, you really have to understand the problem itself. So para siyang yung first similar ito dun sa first steps sa scientific method. 'Di ba? Sa scientific method we have to identify the problem. So same thing here. Here instead of identifying, you have to understand the problem. Okay? So here are the few steps that you can use in order for you to use the first step. First one is learn the necessary underlying mathematical concepts. What particular concept in math are you going to apply? Is it, let's say, it is more on algebra? Is it more on using of trigonometric functions? Or is it more on geometry? Okay? Then, consider the terminology and notation used in the problem. If you could still remember when we discussed mathematical language, I've told you that in mathematical sentence, instead of using words, we use different notation. So that is why in solving math problems, you really have to know the meaning of those notations, or else hindi mo rin siya maiintindihan. Okay? So since hindi nga tayo gumagamit talaga ng mga particular na terms, commonly we use symbols or notations. Okay? So dito sa letter B, pwede din natin ditong ipasok yung what sort of a problem is it, what is being asked, what do the terms mean, is there enough information or is more information needed, what is known or unknown. So those are the things that you can prepare in order for you to have the first step. Then also in preparation, you may rephrase the problem in your own words, lalo na kung medyo ma-technical yung mga terms na ginamit. So pwedeng gumamit kayo on your understanding ano yung pagkakaintindi ninyo doon sa mga notations or terminologies na ginamit dun sa problem. And then write down specific examples of the conditions given in the problem. So dito sa letter D, papasok diyan halimbawa yung pag nagso-solve tayo ng worded problem, 'di ba? Papasok diyan yung you may write the given para alam ninyo kung ano talaga yung given na dun sa problem, yung binanggit na nababasa na dun sa problem, and it will lead us kung paano natin isosolve yung given problem. Okay, so that is the first step, preparation. Then second step, thinking time. So dito, magde-devise na tayo ng plan. Okay? So after natin maintindihan ano yung problem, we have to devise a plan. So how are we going to devise a plan? That is the next question. So you may start somewhere, so try something. How are you going to attack the problem? So yun dapat yung second na iisipin natin. Paano ko ba ano bang klaseng atake ang gagawin ko in order for me to solve this problem? Okay? So, think of possible strategies. Reach into your bag of tricks. 'Di ba? Sipin mo lahat yung mga stock knowledge na meron ka. Sipin mo lahat yung mga concepts na natutunan mo, let's say, since no elementary ka, since nung high school ka, in order for you to think of a device na pwede mong gamitin sa pagsosolve ng problem. So, ano-ano itong mga possible strategies na pwede nyong gamitin? You may draw pictures, 'di ba? Use variable, and it will help for you to visualize ano yung condition ng unknown quantity natin. And also be systematic, 'di ba? Dapat may patutunguhan yung solution mo. Then solve a simple version of the problem. Kung pwede namang makuha na sa short method, 'di ba? Doon na lang kaysa naman maglo-long method ka tas hindi mo naman alam kung sure ka dun sa ginagamit mong method. Anyway, it doesn't matter naman what method are you going to use, provided you will come up with the correct answer. Okay? Then do not forget to check, guess and check, trial and error, guess and test. Okay? Sometimes guessing works, 'di ba? Sometimes it does not works all the time. Still, you have to come up with the concrete solution. Hindi pwedeng manghuhula ka lang ng manghuhula. Okay? Then also look for pattern or patterns and make a list. Okay? So those are the things na pwede niyong gamitin in order for you to come up with possible strategies. Once you understand what the problem is, if you are stumped or stuck, set the problem aside for a while. Your subconscious mind may keep working on it. Okay? Ito, most of the time, sinasabi ko sa inyo to during exam, di ba? Lampasan nyo muna yung mga items na hindi kayo sure kung paano nyo sasagutan. Sagutan nyo muna yung mga items na medyo sure kayo. Kasi minsan, doon sa ibang tanong, related yung other question. So, pwede kayo makakuha ng idea doon sa particular na tanong na yun para mabalikan nyo yung tanong na hindi nyo pa nasasagutan. Then, moving on to think about other things may help you stay relaxed, flexible, and creative rather than becoming tense, frustrated, and forced in your efforts to solve the problem. So, halimbawa, na-stuck ka na talaga dun sa item na yon. If you wanted to, you may pause for a while. 'di ba? Wag mong pilitin kasi the more mong pipilitin yung sarili mo na isipin talaga kung paano siya sasagutan, the more na hindi magwo-work. So, puwede naman mag-pause muna tayo for a while. Halimbawa, pumikit, ganyan, ah, i ikot-ikot yung ulo, ganyan, para ma-relax tayo. Kapag medyo relax ka na, palagay mo relax ka na, balikan mo na ulit yung problem. Malay mo makaisip ka na ng solution dun sa problem. Okay? Then after that, after tayo mag-devise ng plan, syempre, kailangan na natin siyang i-carry out. Okay? And that is the third step. Insight. Carry out the plan. So, paano natin ito gagawin? Once you have an idea for a new approach, jot it down immediately. 'Di ba? Kaya take down notes is very important. Kasi minsan naiisip natin later wala na. 'Di ba nakalimutan na natin. So mas maganda kung sinusulat. When you have time, try it out and see if it leads to a solution. If the plan does not seem to be working, then start over and try another approach. Kaya dito dapat sa pagde-devise ng plan, ayan dito sa step 2 natin, dapat hindi isa lang yung plan na meron ka, 'di ba? Halimbawa kung meron kang plan A, dapat may plan B, plan C, 'di ba? Yung the more yung plans na pine-prayer natin, mas makakaisip tayo ng tamang solution. Huwag tayo mag-stick sa isang plan lang, okay? When you have time, try it out and see if leads to a solution. So dito, trial and error ulit. Okay? So if the plan does not seem to be working, then start over and try another approach. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na dapat may iba kang plan. Often, the first approach does not work. It does not mean you did it wrong. You actually accomplish something. Knowing a way does not work is part of the process of elimination. Okay? So kumbaga kahit nga sa math 'di ba meron tayong elimination method. So dito puwede din, 'di ba? Halimbawa hindi nag-work si plan A, hindi ibig sabihin, mali na agad si plan A. 'Di ba malay mo naman si plan A applicable sa ibang problem. Hindi lang siya suited dun sa problem na yon, okay? So once you have thought about a problem or return to it enough times, you will often have a flash of insight, a new idea to try or new perspective on how to approach solving the problem. Okay? So, minsan 'di ba yung halimbawa, you're working on a certain problem. Ayan. Tapos biglang maaalala mo, ay oo nga pala may ganitong method sa algebra. Halimbawa gano'n. O kaya, oh, ay right triangle 'to, so puwede ko 'tong gamitan ng trigonometric functions. O 'di ba? Pumapasok ngayon yung mga insights na meron ka. Makakaisip ka ngayon ng new idea, magkakaroon ka ngayon ng new idea na sa palagay mo ay angkop na, 'di ba, do'n sa pagso-solve ng problem. The key is to keep trying until something works. So sabi nga nung ating quotation, 'di ba? Try until you succeed. So wala namang masama kung susubok ng susubok. Huwag mo lang susukuan kasi the more na susukuan, the more na hindi maso-solve yung problem. Try lang ng try, okay? Then the last step is verification. So how are we going to verify? Look back. 'Di ba? Kaya nga yung 'di ba sa mga sample problems na dinidiscuss ng mga math teacher ninyo, laging meron checking. 'Di ba? Para saan yung checking? Kaya nga siya checking from the word itself, 'di ba? In order for you to know, in order for you to analyze kung tama yung naging solution mo. Okay? So once you have a potential solution, check to see if it works. Okay? Paano ko ba malalaman, ma'am, kung nag-work? That is the question. So pwede mo sagutin itong mga tanong na to. Did you answer the question? Did you able to come up with the solution? 'Di ba? Kasi ito the more na 'di ba halimbawa sa sampung problem na binigay ni teacher sa math, halimbawa gano'n, 'pag, nakasagot ka ng 7, 8, parang confident na tayo do'n minsan, 'di ba? Parang, "Uy, sure ako sa 7 items ko." So kung 7 items 'yon, 70% na 'yon ng total number of items. So, uy, may 70% na ako. Ang problema 75% ang passing, kulang pa pala. So dapat pala maka-8 ako, 'di ba? So in order for you to pass 'Di ba, sabi mo na makakakuha ka ng passing grade. Kung 10 yung tanong, kailangan 8 dun ang masagot mo kasi 80% yun, eh. Okay? Kung 7 lang, 70% lang yun, eh, ang passing 75. So therefore, kailangan sure ka at least sa 8. Okay? Minsan din halimbawa, ah, minsan 'di ba nararamdaman naman natin, eh, nararamdaman natin kung tama or mali yung solution natin, okay? So, is your result reasonable? Halimbawa, 'di ba minsan yung sasabihin natin, "Bakit parang ang laki-laki naman nung value na nakuha ko?" 'Di ba? Parang kahit ikaw duda ka dun sa value na nakuha mo. So, what does it mean kung duda ka? Hindi siya reasonable, 'di ba? Pero kung palagay mo, oo nga, okay lang." Kasi halimbawa sinabi na size ng pool, halimbawa ganyan, puwede na 'tong puwede na 'tong, parameter na nakuha ko, 'di ba? So reasonable siya. Then double check to make sure that all of the conditions related to the problem are satisfied. Halimbawa ang hinahanap sa problem is value ng mass. Halimbawa, value ng mass. So kung value ng mass 'yan, dapat ang makukuha mong unit for mass. Halimbawa, it could be gram, kilogram, ganyan, okay? Tapos upon checking nakita mo na bakit parang hindi mass yung nakuha ko. 'Di ba, bakit parang sa pag-cancel ko ng unit ang natira is halimbawa volume, hindi mass yung nakuha ko. So therefore, hindi related yung answer na nakuha mo dun sa condition nung problem. So if that is the case, alam mo na mali yung naging solution mo. Then double check any computations involved in finding your solution. Ayan, halimbawa, bakit parang unit ng volume yung nakuha ko, hindi unit for mass? Di balikan mo, di ba? Balikan mo yung computations mo, baka naman may mali ka lang na na-cancel na unit, kaya ang natirang unit ay unit for volume instead na unit for mass. Okay? So if you find that your solution does not work, there may only be a simple mistake. Try to fix or modify your current attempt before scrapping it. Remember what you tried. It is likely that at least part of it will end up being useful. Okay? So katulad yun ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi porke mali yung unang trial mo, mali na lahat, 'di ba? Balikan mo yung solution mo, baka naman may konting mali lang doon, 'di ba? Bago mo siya i-scrap. Baka naman kaya pang gamutin, kumbaga, yung problema doon sa naging solution mo. Kasi naman magso-solve ka ulit. Okay? Is there another way of doing the problem which may be simpler? Pwede din yan. Diba? Halimbawa, ang haba-haba naman ang naging solution ko hanggang sa wala nang kinapuntahan yung solution mo. Sabi ko nga kanina, baka naman pwede ng short method instead of using the long method. Can the problem or method be generalized so as to be useful for future problems? Okay? So, halimbawa, nagsosolve ka ng 3 problems. Sa palagay mo is medyo mahaba yung mga problems na binigay sa'yo. So, try mo, kasi common din naman, di ba, kung magbibigay ng problem, halimbawa sa isang long test, or halimbawa lang, midterm, halimbawa ganon. Commonly naman, yung diniscuss lang within the midterm period, yung ibibigay doon sa exam, di ba? So, commonly, kung ano yung napag-aralan nyo, yun lang yung involved doon sa exam. So, pwede na yung mga problems na ibibigay ni ma'am or ni sir connected sa isa't isa. 'Di ba? So, pwede mong gamitin yung naging solution mo para problem number 1, malay mo, 'di ba, magamit mo yung kay problem number 2 or kay problem number 3. Same thing, yung solution mo kay number 2, baka pwede mong magamit kay number 1 or kay number 3. Or pwede din naman yung ginamit mo, yung solution mo kay number 3, magagamit mo siya kay number 1 or kay number 2. Okay? So, eto ngayon yung ating summary for the Polya's 4-step problem-solving procedure. So, step 1, understand the problem. Read the problem slowly, jotting down the key ideas. Okay? Devise a plan to solve the problem. Pwedeng draw a diagram, find a formula, look for patterns. Then, step 3, carry out the plan to solve the problem. Solve the problem, follow the numbers, create an equation. Kaya dito, dapat alam mo yung alam mo kung ano yung yung equation na involved dun sa problem. Sa number 2, kaya dapat alam mo kung ano yung formula na angkop dun sa problem. Okay? Then, step 4, check the answer. Does your answer make sense? Did you solve for the requested unknown? Diba? Dapat kung ano yung hinahanap, yun yung masolve mo. Halimbawa, kung ang tinatanong ay volume, so dapat value ng volume ang makuha mo. Unit for volume ang makuha mo. Halimbawa, ang tinatanong ay length. Ayan, okay? So, dapat ang makuha mo is value for length, unit for length. So, yun yung sinasabi natin dyan, okay? So, I have an example kung paano gagamitin yung 4 steps ni Polya natin, ni Polya in problem solving. So, example, what should the diameter of a swimming pool be if one wishes for the area to be 400 square feet? So, sabi dyan, round answer to tens. Okay? So, step 1, gamitin natin ha, identify the problem. Ano yung pinapahanap sa atin? Diameter. What should the diameter of a swimming pool be? Okay? So, if that is the case, at diameter siya, so dito magkakaroon ka na agad ng idea na ang shape nung swimming pool ay circle. 'Di ba? So kung circle, dapat may radius. 'Di ba? So kung may radius ka na, dodoblehin mo lang 'yon, 'yun na ang value ng diameter. 'Di ba? So find the radius, then double it. So kapag may value na ako ng radius, dodoblehin ko lang 'yon, 'yun na ang value ng diameter. So 'yun yung identifying the problem. Okay, next, devise a plan. 'Di ba sabi sa devise a plan, ayan no, find a formula. Draw a diagram. Find a formula. So dito sa devise a plan, pwede kang mag-drawing ng circle. Ayan, nakikita nyo dito sa isang side. 'Di ba? Pwede kang mag-drawing ng circle. Tapos, lagay ka ng dot sa gitna. I-assume mo na yun yung center ng circle. Then, from the center, going to any point, ayan, okay, i-assume mo na yan yung radius. Okay, so nakapag-draw a diagram ka na. Then, find a formula. Ito, dapat alam mo yung formula ng area ng circle. 'Di ba? So, alam natin na ang area ng circle is pi r squared. Okay? Then, dito sa step 2, lagay mo na rin dyan yung mga given. Ano-ano yon? 'Di ba? Sabi dito, the area to be 400 square feet. So therefore, yung 400 dito, that is the area of the swimming pool. And then meron tayong constant value ng pi, which is 3.14. So meron kang area, meron kang radius, okay? Meron kang value ng pi. So therefore, pwede mo nang masolve yung value ng radius. Okay? Carry out the plan. So, paano natin gagawin yung carry out the plan? Substitute the given to your formula. 'Di ba? Ang formula natin, A is equal to pi r squared. Ang A natin is 400. Ang pi natin is constant, 3.14, then r squared. Okay? So, formula derivation. So, therefore, r squared is equal to area divided by pi. Okay, so r squared is equal to 400 divided by 3.14. 400 divided by 3.14 is 127.389. Ngayon, radius lang ang hinahanap natin. Kailangan matanggal yung squared na to. So what are we going to do? Take the square root of both side. 'Di ba? So mangyayari dito, square root of 127.389 is equal to 11.3. Itong 11.3 na to, yan na yung radius natin. Okay? Did we able to solve the problem? Not yet. Kasi ang tinatanong ay diameter. Kaya ang gagawin natin, dodoblehin natin si radius. Okay? Ita times 2 natin siya. Itong value na to, which is 11.3 times 2, will give you 22.6 feet. So lalabas, eto na yung value ng diameter. Okay? So, ma'am, nasan yung step 4? Balikan mo yung solution mo. 'Di ba? Dito, tama ba yung formula ko? 'Di ba? Tama ba yung value ng radius na ginamit ko? Tama ba yung constant value ng pi na ginamit ko? Ayan. Then dito sa part na 'to, kinuha ko ba yung square root? Kasi ito ay r squared pa. 'Di ba? Eh, R lang ang kailangan ko. So, para makuha ko yung R, kailangan ko pang kunin yung square root ng 127.389. Then pagdating dito, kailangan ko pa 'tong doblehin. Hindi pa ito yung final answer kasi ang hinahanap ay diameter. Okay? So, look back to your answer. So, yan yung example kung paano gagamitin yung Polya's 4 steps in problem solving. Okay? Next. O aside dun sa Polya's 4 steps in problem solving, meron pa tayong mga problem solving strategies. Okay? So problem solving strategies may be developed in many ways. First, the ability to use strategies develops with experience and practice. Second, strategies themselves can become more abstract and complex. Okay? So dito sa problem solving strategies natin class, yung ability natin na mag-solve ng problem, okay? Kapag lagi nating ginagawa at lagi nating napapractice, ah, mararamdaman nyo na yung development sa'yo, 'di ba? Mabilis ka na mag-solve ng problem, nakakaisip ka na agad ng formula na dapat mong gamitin, nakakaisip ka na agad ng solution na puwede mong gawin, ayan. So, puwede naman siya talagang ma-develop, okay? So, here are some simple and common problem, solving strategies. Guess and check, ayan, okay? So, this is a classic technique. Alam na natin 'yan, 'di ba? Kaya lang may not be very efficient and reliable. Meron siyang low level of effort requires, great way to relax the mind, and one of the simplest strategies na pwede nating pwede nating maisip. So example ng guess and check, jigsaw puzzle at saka crossword puzzle, 'di ba? Ayan, 'di ba? Some of you magaling kayong bumuo ng mga jigsaw puzzle. 'Di ba? Some of you magaling kayong bumuo or magsagot ng crossword puzzle. 'Di ba yung mga driver, 'di ba, magaling silang magsagot ng crossword puzzle, 'di ba? So ano 'to, ito classic technique, 'di ba? Parang wala naman yatang hindi marunong bumuo ng jigsaw puzzle. Meron lang mas mabilis bumuo, meron lang mabagal bumuo. Pero lahat tayo alam natin kung paano maglaro ng jigsaw puzzle, okay? Ito yung crossword puzzle, 'di ba halimbawa, sagutan mo yung across, okay? Tapos yung unang sagot mo magbibigay sa iyo yun ng lead or ng idea kung paano mo sasagutin naman yung mga iba pang words na tinatanong. Halimbawa, sinugot mo na yung one across, ayan. Eh meron tayo ditong two down, 'di ba? So, dun sa unang letter na nakikita natin dito sa number 2, yun yung magiging unang letter ng sagot mo sa two down. Okay? Kaya sinasabi itong classic technique. Kasi 'di ba, even before nakaisip na marunong na maglaro ang mga tao ng jigsaw puzzle at saka ng crossword puzzle. Yun nga lang, hindi lahat ay magaling, 'di ba? Hindi lahat ay mabilis magsagot ng jigsaw puzzle at saka ng crossword puzzle. Okay? Next, act it out. Involves pros and cons. Effective strategy for demonstration purposes. Devices are used to act out the problem. So, perfect example nito is yung laro na charades. 'Di ba? Ina-act it out 'yan para malaman nung ka-team mo kung ano yung words na gusto mong ipahula, okay? Then draw pictures. So perfect example nito yung ginagamit ng mga chemistry teachers, ng mga physics teachers, 'di ba? Yung Venn diagram yung ginamit natin sa language of sets, 'di ba? Yung vector diagram, yan ginagamit ito sa physics, 'di ba? Then also the free body diagram. Now, mas madaling makaisip ng solution if we have diagram. It's because napipicture out natin ano yung situation dun sa problem na binigay. That is why every time na magsosolve kayo, dapat talaga, especially yung mga problems sa science, problem sa chemistry, problem sa physics, yung mga ganyan. Dapat matuto kayong gumawa ng vector diagram or ng free body diagram para mas ma-visualize ninyo kung ano yung situation do sa problem. Pag na-visualize ninyo ano yung situation do sa problem, mas mabilis na kayo makakaisip ng solution. Okay? Then creating list and organized table. It is efficient way of finding number pattern. So, example nito class, sa statistics, yung frequency distribution table, 'di ba? Tinuruan kayong gumawa ng frequency distribution table sa statistics nung senior high school kayo. So, example yun ito. Yan yung may tally-tally. 'Di ba? So, ito, ano to, perfect example to ng, excuse me, organized table. Sa creating list, eto na ba yung sa personal experience natin, yung nag-to-do list tayo, gumagawa tayo ng to-do list, 'di ba? Para alam natin kung ano yung mga bagay-bagay na kailangan nating i-accomplish. Tapos 'di ba nilalagyan natin ng check doon sa to-do list natin. Nilalagyan natin ng check kapag na-accomplish na natin. Para alam natin, nakaka-move forward ba yung mga dapat kong gawin? May mga nagagawa ba ako dito sa mga nakalista sa to-do list ko, okay? Or puwede din natin i-relate diyan yung bucket list na tinatawag natin, 'di ba? Ano ba nilalagay natin dun sa bucket list? Yung mga bagay na gusto nating gawin, 'di ba? Na halimbawa, yung mga bagay na gusto nating gawin bago tayo mamatay, halimbawa gano'n, okay? So, nililista mo lahat do'n. Then, from time to time, chine-check mo kung may nagagawa ka na sa iyong bucket list. Halimbawa, meron kang halimbawa lang, 10 gustong gawin bago ka mamatay, 'di ba? Ta's 50 years old ka na, tignan mo yung bucket list mo baka ni isa wala ka pang nagagawa, okay? So, example yun ng creating list, okay? And yung paggawa ng list at pag-o-organize, okay, mas mabilis yan makatulong para mas lalo nating ma-visualize yung problem at lalo tayong makaisip ng pinakamabilis at pinaka-efficient na method na magagawa natin in order for us to solve the problem. Okay? Then, meron din tayo kasama din dito sa problem solving strategies, yung recreational math na tinatawag natin. So, example dito, riddle, puzzle, brain teasers, games, okay? Carried out for recreation or leisure rather than as a research or application-based professional activity. So, recreational math employs creative problem solving, logical reasoning approaches, reflective thinking, and algebra techniques. So, example ng recreational math, ito, ayan, di ba? Yung Rubik's Cube natin at saka yung tangrams. Okay? I guess marami sa inyo marunong or magaling magbuo ng Rubik's Cube. Then, yun din, yung same time, yung tangrams, yung kikreate ka ng different shapes, 'di ba? Sa pamamagitan ng pagko-connect ng mga different shapes din na kasama dun sa set ng tangrams. Okay? So those are the things na pwede niyong gamitin class, ayan, in order for us to develop yung problem solving skills natin at saka yung makaisip tayo ng mga different strategies in order for us to solve mathematical problems. Okay?